Hello, I'm Alan. Welcome to Camelot Reforged. So if you're new here, Camelot Reforged is my ongoing project to rebuild the theme park I loved as a kid, but better. If I had unlimited money, unlimited space, and the Disney Universal levels of creativity, what would Camelot Theme Park look like? So each episode, I'm going to mix a bit of history, a bit of the mythology, also a bit of theme park nerdery, and a good helping of Planet Coaster 2 building chaos, as I learn to make this park as immersive as I can. So before we build, let's talk about the history behind our star attraction's name, the Rack. In medieval Europe, torture wasn't just a punishment, it was theatre. Devices like the breaking wheel, also known as the Catherine wheel, the iron chair seat lined with spikes, sometimes heated from below, a probably more comfortable version of trying to do a long-haul flight if you're over 6 foot. And then there's the infamous rack itself, a wooden frame with rollers at either end. The victim's wrists and ankles were tied, and the rollers would turn slowly, stretching the body. So as someone who goes to an osteopath regularly to get clicked and stretched, this sounds quite good, to be honest. But on this version of the rack, your shoulders and hips would dislocate. Then your elbows and knees, your muscles tore, nerves were damaged. If you keep going long enough, you risk tearing ligaments completely or even separating limbs. So yeah, pretty grim. So it makes a great inspiration for a medieval theme park, especially in the Dark Realms section. So Camelot Theme Park actually had a ride called the Rack. So the original was a Vekoma Cannon trip ride. So it was imported from the US, spent some time in New Jersey. It opened in 1994, but over the years it became a maintenance nightmare. In 2009, it suffered a major mechanical fault. Repairs would have cost around $60,000. I guess that was the final straw that stretched the camel's back. So within Planet Coaster 2, there's no canyon trip blueprints, so I'm going to use a cube flat ride. So for the theming, to make it immersive, I wanted to feel like you're going into a medieval dungeon. And the queue runs through these prison corridors with horrible things to look at, some torture devices. Here's the Catherine wheel. And we've even got the a version of the rack and the just so the priority queue doesn't feel left out on their route round. I basically made this into a blueprint and I've stuck it in there too. The sandstone walls are from the pirate theming, it gives it that damp basement look. Because the ride queue is under the actual ride, you'll be able to hear the screams and the noise of the ride itself right ahead. But I've also put some soundtrack in there too with the speakers. I wanted to have the queue running. My original plan was to have the queue running under the ride itself, to save footprint on the park. Well, when I first tried it, I couldn't figure it out. So it kind of looked like this. So, but then through a few bits of trial and error, moving it away and making more of the path. For some reason, if I use the actual pathing tool, normal pathing tool, rather than the queue, that seemed to work. I don't know how I did it. So I just made sure I had enough pathing down, and then it wouldn't put the big columns on there. There's one column on there which I've hidden behind something else. But you can see here the comparison between how much space it takes up when the queue runs under it and how much space it takes up when the queue isn't. It's quite a difference. It's almost double the space. Because there's a normal path and not just a queue, I've added some seats in there, and there's a toilet just before you go up to the main queue. And I've also hidden in a staff room and a mechanic's space. Oh, and the generator, that's also in there too. I've added some finishing touches, put some rocks. The entire area is supposed to look like, of the Dark Realm, it's meant to look like it's sinking. So I've added some rocks, almost like pushing through. Some extra detail. We've got a logo for the rack. So, okay, I did use AI to make the logo. And I'm going to use it a lot more for this, but this is a game I'm playing. I'm not going to spend any more money than I need to on this, and I don't have the budget or the expendable income to go commissioning creative people. Had some fun with the lighting. That's always neat to put that in just to see. And I've got some fog effects in there and some smoke effects and flame effects, all the good stuff. There's no gift shop here. It doesn't feel right for a torture-themed ride. But I did add a priority queue, so a little security post to make it more realistic, to stop guests jumping over the gate to try and sneak around onto the fast queue. I've put my security guard there. I'm pretty pleased how it looks. I've actually don't think I've ever finished a ride with all the theming done. So yeah, pretty stoked how this has turned out. So I think it looks fairly immersive. So far, there's no guests going through any of this, so who knows what it's going to look like when they descend upon it. But I'm pretty pleased the way it looks. So that's the rack. One ride down, a whole park to go. Next up, I'm planning to build a Tipsy Tavern, a medieval restaurant and bar for weary adventurers. Thanks for watching. If you like this mix of history, horror, coaster building, give the video a like. Subscribe to give me some motivation to keep going with this. And maybe in the comments, why don't you tell me your favourite medieval horror device? Until next time, keep forging your dreams, and I'll see you in the next realm.